Welcome back to Comics with Drew. This is Drew, and this is just going to be a video of me drawing. I've been working on my book. I drew a comic strip. I drew a web comic called Vindabud, Superhero in Training, for 20 years or so, and I haven't drawn a new episode of it since 2017. But I've decided recently that I'm going to go ahead and make this a real comic book, and so to that end, I've been working on improving my skill set and improving my drawing. So what I'm going to be doing here really isn't all that spectacular. It's just I'm just working on trying to get better here. So, but while I'm doing this, I want to talk about this Gina Carano thing. So the news just came across that that she got fired here from Lucasfilm, and the reason why is because essentially, she was posting things on social media that were not exactly politically correct. So, if you've been following Star Wars at all in the last I don't know 2 or 3 years, you've been noticing that you have these people on social media, and their goal in life seems to be to try to destroy things. So that's really all they want to do. They just want to find out how they can destroy people, and there's going to be a lot of videos about this whole thing, but what I want to do is offer some advice. So a lot of people don't seem to understand this. I thought it was common sense, but apparently apparently it's not common sense. So I'm going to try to offer some common sense to people here. Don't go on social media and engage in slap fights. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to use social media, if you're going to use things like, I don't know, if you're going to use like Facebook, keep your Facebook set to people that you know. That's it. That's it. Just people that you know, and don't add people that you've never met or have never met in person or don't really trust. So the reason why I say that is because social media is a tool that is used by people to destroy others. It's used by people who do not want to tolerate anybody that thinks differently from the way that they think. They just want it to. They just want to use it to monitor what people say and then attempt to destroy those people. That's what social media is basically being used for the past, especially the last several years. And there's a rule that my dad taught me. Many years ago, when I was just turning 18 and getting into the workplace and the workforce and getting out into the real world. And my dad said to me, he said, "Drew, don't talk about religion and politics at work." And the reason why is because, not that you shouldn't talk about politics and religion, or that religion and politics aren't important. They're very important topics, obviously. But at work, you're not there to talk about religion and politics. You're not there to discuss the finer points of what people believe and what people believe that is very important to them. You're there to do a job. You are there for a particular reason. You've been hired because of your skill set, and the whole point is for you to go and just make that widget that you were hired to make. That's your sole reason to be there. You're there to provide a service, and you are there to use some of your talent in exchange for monetary gain, and most of the time that's a salary. And this Gina Carano thing is an example of needlessly talking about something that you don't need to talk about. So, I mean, I like Gina Carano. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of The Mandalorian. And, she's obviously someone who appears to be a conservative, okay? She appears to be, at the very least, a conservative, whether she's social conservative or not, whether she's a Republican or not. is really kind of immaterial. She is a conservative person, and because of that, she likes to talk about things that, are generally speaking, um, things that libertarians and people that are right of center would agree with, right? And so, if you've been paying attention at all with any of this stuff lately, it's a matter of there are a lot of people out there that do not want anybody on social media or anybody that has any kind of notoriety talking about things that they disagree with, right? I mean, they just don't. And they are out there and they're bent on destroying anybody that violates these things. They're out there to destroy people who do not agree with them, and they are out to destroy them and basically shut them down and get them deplatformed and get them silenced, because all they want to do is hear people that agree with them, and they think that if you can't agree with them, then you are wrong and you don't deserve to have a voice anymore. And you know these aren't people that you can really talk with, and so when Gina is out there, so when Carano is up there and she's making these Instagram posts, and I saw the post, and the post is a classic example of a kind of thing that you can say that can easily be misinterpreted and utilized by people who don't care what your point is. They don't care what you're trying to say. They don't give a damn about your morals. They don't give a damn about intellectual honesty, And so if you're trying to engage with them, you're doing something that is futile. So don't engage with them. So if you're going to be on social media, if you just have to be on social media for whatever reason, then what you're going to need to do, is just post things that have nothing to do with hot button issues, right? Don't talk about it. You don't have to talk about it. I'm someone who is deep into politics, right? I mean, I'm a political junkie, but what I have come to recognize is that there's a hill to die on, and and then there's not a hill to die on, and essentially, I've come to recognize for my own emotional and mental health that there's only so much you can do about something, and obsessing about it isn't going to change it. Obsessing about something that's happening isn't going to change what's going on. And the best way to engage in social media, if you feel like you have to, is to just avoid hot button issues. Avoid talking about religion and politics, okay? I'm not, and you can do that if you want, you can engage in that if you want, but you have to understand that there are people out there who are going to listen to what you have to say, and they're going to take it and they're going to use it as ammunition to try to destroy you. And, if you're looking for that, if you're looking to engage in these, this game of reputational blood sport, I mean, I guess that's fine. But, there's just, to me, there's not a lot that can be gained from that, okay? There just isn't, right? And in my opinion, there's just not really a lot that can be gained from, talking about things that are just going to set people off, all right? So, if you're going to have conversations like religion and politics based conversations, have them with your friends that you know and trust and who actually care about you. Don't get on the internet and don't get on social media and try to engage with people who have no good faith. They're not interested in any kind of good faith discussion about stuff. They're not interested in mutual understanding. They're not interested in learning how to, see things from a new perspective. They already understand. They believe that they understand the world already, right? And they have painted everybody into battle lines, or they painted everybody into teams, and all they can imagine is, I need to go and destroy people. And so when you do what Gina Carano just did, and makes a post that's meant to be, oh, look, if we can all just get together and we can understand, look, in history, um, this particular bad group of people did these particular bad things. People aren't going to look at that and take that as, oh wow, that's a profound statement. No, they're going to say, oh, you mentioned X people and you mentioned Y people, and so therefore you're a bad person and you must be destroyed. That's what you're going to get. So don't do it, okay? Don't die on this hill. I don't know if she's permanently fired, or if this is going to be like a James Gunn situation. But it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to do here for you few people that are watching this, I'm just trying to give you a bit of advice, right? Don't talk about topics that are hot button topics in an environment where you can't control the engagement that you're going to receive. It doesn't, and it's not about being right or wrong. It's not about you trying to convince people that things are going that your point of view is the correct point of view. You're not in a debate society. You're not having a debate with people here. What you're dealing with are people who don't care about you and just want to destroy you. That's all they want. That's all they want to do. And so just don't let them do that, okay? Don't give them any excuse to do that. Simple as that. So in summary, use common sense. If you're going to engage in social media, have an account, use that account for one thing only. Like I use my Twitter account for comics. That's it. And if you look at my Twitter feed, you're gonna see that I don't engage in debates with people. I might like a tweet here, I might like a tweet here or there, but you will never see me engaging in any kind of political debate with people. The worst that you'll see is I might talk to someone about economic theory, but that's very brief, and I really don't really get into that. That's not really a partisan issue or a that's more of a nonpartisan issue. But for the most part, I typically just avoid getting involved with that, and you should too. To be perfectly honest with you, you should definitely avoid getting involved with that kind of stuff. So it's going to make your life easier going forward, and it's just the best way to maintain your mental sanity. There's been a lot of hot button craziness that's been going on in the last year, and people are on edge, and so keep your hot button opinions off the internet. All right, just don't, if you've got political Twitter accounts or Instagram accounts or whatever, make them private. Don't let anybody see them that you don't personally know or you don't personally trust, and that way you don't make yourself a target for this stuff. So if you don't say something offensive, then you can't be targeted for being offensive. If you're talking about a topic that isn't something that someone can turn around and be super hyper offended about, then you're not going to have this kind of trouble. Don't go looking for trouble. And I think that in this situation, Gina went looking for trouble. She went looking for trouble and she found it. And there wasn't any reason for her to be doing that. So, and it may have cost her career here. It's definitely cost her some trouble in the short term, and it might cause her some trouble in the long term. But take this as a lesson. Take this as a life lesson. Don't talk about politics and religion at work. Don't talk about politics and religion in company with people that you don't understand and you don't trust. Well, let me rephrase that. You may understand them, but they're not willing to discuss things with you. Okay? You're not going to be the magic person that's going to convince them of something. So just avoid it. That's my advice. And if you can't avoid it, then just stay off social media. So I just got done watching a video from Richard Meyer, and he makes the same point. Although he'll tell you just to stay off social media, period. I think that you can stay on social media as long as you understand the point of what you're doing. You understand what you're trying to accomplish, and you can be disciplined. And if you can't be disciplined, then you need to stay off of it. All right? So don't go looking for trouble, and trouble won't typically come find you. And that's all I really wanted to say with this video. So thanks for watching. This is Comics with Drew. This character is Vindabud, and he was a superhero in training in my webcomic, and I am reworking him into a different kind of superhero, an actual superhero for my comic book coming up here. And I just actually got done with plotting the first issue of it, or the first chapter of it. So we'll see how it goes. Again, this is Comics with Drew. My name's Drew, and if you like listening to me ramble on and on, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next time.